The sun burned fiercely that afternoon in Lagos. Students hurried across the campus road, shielding themselves from the scorching heat. Sitting comfortably in the back seat of a black Range Rover was Adaeze, an only daughter of a wealthy business magnate. Beautiful, elegant, soft-spoken, and used to getting everything she wanted. The car slowed down as they approached traffic. In the crowd of hawkers, a young man weaved between cars with a cooler on his head, calling out loudly, "Bottle water! Bottle water!" Adaeze lowered her dark-tinted glasses. "Hey, boy, one bottle water," she said casually. The young man turned and time seemed to stop. He was handsome, shockingly handsome. White, perfect teeth, wide, bright eyes filled with life, skin glowing under the sun. It was as if the world went silent. Adaeze stared, speechless. Her heart beat loudly in her chest. He smiled, snapping her back to reality.
Madam,
"Madam,
bottle water.
bottle water."
Yes.
How many will you buy?
Yes, she
much
said
is
softly.
everything?
"How many we won't
Ten-
buy?" "How much is everything?" 10,000 naira, ma. Without thinking, she opened her bag and handed him 50,000 naira. The boy's eyes widened. "Ha! Madam,
all this
all
for
this
me?
for me?"
Yes.
he said, smiling so wide that his dimples appeared. "Yes," she replied with a shy smile. She pulled out a pen and paper. "Do you have a phone?" "No, madam." "All right, write your address here." He laughed, slightly embarrassed. "Ah, madam, I no get house, so now under this bridge I dey stay. If you reach here again, just ask of Damoski. My real name na Damola, but everybody they call me Damoski." Traffic began to move, and Adaeze's driver drove forward. Through the back window, she watched him wave joyfully, clutching the money to his chest. That night, she couldn't sleep. His smile haunted her mind. A week later, she returned to the bridge. She stepped out of the SUV and asked after him. A young boy pointed to the street. "He don't go hustle." She waited and waited until she finally saw him returning with sweat on his forehead. He froze in shock when he saw her. "Ah, big madam, you can't find me. No vex, I quick run go sell small water." "I thought I gave you 50,000 naira, she said gently. "You shouldn't be killing yourself under the sun." Damola laughed bitterly. "Madam, that money don't finish since. They collect all kinds of fees from us here. Even living under the bridge sef, no free." He wiped his face with a small towel. "And what brings you here, ma?" "Nothing," she smiled softly. "I just wanted to see you, Damola. Can we go out?" He paused, shocked. But before he could process it, the driver opened the door. They went to the cinema. They watched a movie, ate popcorn and ice cream, and talked for hours. Adaeze laughed like a child. She hadn't felt that free in years. Damola told her about his life. He was a graduate, the only child of his parents. They died in a fatal accident, and his father's elder brother stole everything, claiming his father owed him a huge debt. Life threw him to the streets, and the bridge became his only shelter. When the driver dropped him off at 8 p.m., Adaeze's heart broke watching him walk back under the bridge. They continued seeing each other. She lied to her mother every time. Their bond grew deeper than either expected. One night at the beach, waves washing over their feet, Adaeze looked into his eyes and whispered, "Damola, I love you." He stared at her speechless, then pulled her into his arms. "I love you too." They danced under the moonlight, laughing and running like children. But happiness doesn't last long in their world. When her mother discovered who she was dating, she was furious. A street boy, a hawker, living under a bridge, never. Adaeze refused to leave him.
So her mother went to the bridge herself. She looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Stay away from my daughter or you will regret it." Damola tried to distance himself, but Adaeze refused to let go. So her mother hired thugs. They attacked him brutally. Bleeding and broken, an older man who lived under the bridge helped him escape. "Run for your life, my boy. This place no safe again." Damola disappeared into the night. Adaeze cried like a baby for weeks. She searched everywhere. Nobody knew where he went. Adaeze traveled to the US to continue her studies. Life moved on, or so everyone thought. One afternoon, years later, she returned to Nigeria for her friend's wedding. And there, standing tall, confident, and elegant, was the groom's best man. It was Damola, now successful, now transformed, and staring right at her. Their eyes locked. The world froze again.
The wedding hall was filled with laughter, flashing lights, and loud music. But for Adaeze, everything went quiet the moment she saw him. Her heart dropped. Her hands began to shake. She couldn't breathe. She rushed out of the hall, pushing through the crowd until she reached outside, gasping for air. A few seconds later, Damola followed her out. "Adaeze!" he called gently. She turned sharply, tears filling her eyes. "How could you do that to me, Damola?" Her voice trembled, breaking apart. "I loved you. How could you be so heartless?" He took a step closer, hands raised as if trying to hold her. "Adaeze, please, calm down. Let's look for a quiet place to talk, okay?" She wiped her tears and nodded weakly. He led her to the parking lot. Parked in front of them was a sleek black 2026 Mercedes Maybach. Adaeze gasped softly. Her eyes widened. He had truly become successful. Without speaking, he opened the passenger door for her. They drove in silence through the night in the city of Lagos until they arrived at a luxurious mansion with tall palm trees and sparkling lights. Inside, everything looked expensive. Marble floors, gold accents, glass walls. "Water, wine, juice?" he asked politely. "Please skip all these, Adedamola," she said sharply. "I want to know why you abandoned me years ago." Damola let out a long breath and sat opposite her. "Ada, I left because of your mother." "My mother?" she said shocked. "Yes," he whispered painfully. "She threatened to kill me if I didn't stop seeing you. She even sent thugs to beat me. I almost died that night." Ada gasped, covering her mouth. "I had to run for my life," he continued. "If I stayed, Ada, she would have killed me." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "But you should have told me," she sobbed. "I waited for you. I searched everywhere." "How, Ada? How will I reach you? If she found out, she would have finished me." Silence filled the room. Their hearts pounded loudly in the quiet. "And all of this, how did you achieve it?" she finally asked. Damola smiled faintly. "One day, while working as a sales boy for a woman, I met my old friend from university. He helped me start again. Today, I own one of the largest tech companies in Nigeria. I worked day and night to rebuild my life." More silence. Then Damola's voice broke, heavy with emotion. "Ada, I missed you. No day passes by without me thinking of you. I love you, I still do. And I thank the Lord for making us cross paths again." Ada's tears poured uncontrollably. "I love you too," she whispered, voice shaking. They moved closer and he held her tightly. They hugged for a long moment. Two hearts finally finding home again. And then they kissed. Their love grew stronger again. Dates, beach nights, cinemas, their love blossomed beautifully. 1 month later, in Nigeria, her mother came into her bedroom and sat down. "Ada, You know my friend Bridget? Her son Nelson is coming back to Nigeria and I want you to marry him. It will strengthen the family connection. Ada's heart tightened, but she answered calmly, Mama, I already have someone I want to marry. Oh, is it that hawker? That's who you want to marry and bring shame to this family? Mama, Damola is not a hawker anymore. He is now the CEO of one of the biggest tech companies in Nigeria. He is not the poor boy you threatened years ago. I don't care, her mother shouted. You must marry Nelson Okocha. Ada's eyes burned with fury and pain. Mama, you almost ruined my life. Do you know I almost killed myself after you made Damola disappear? I almost died of depression, and now that I have him back, I will not let you control me again. You have grown wings, Adaize? No problem.
She stormed out. Her mother was restless the whole night. She realized things had changed. Demola was now powerful, not the helpless street boy she once threatened. She had lost that control. The next morning, she walked into Ada's room, only to find Ada packing her bags. Ada, you don't have to leave the house, she said quietly. If he is the one you want to marry, then bring him. I want you to be happy. Ada froze. Her eyes widened in shock and joy. Are you serious, Mama? She asked, trembling. Yes, my daughter. Bring him. I give my blessing. Ada screamed with excitement and hugged her mother tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. It was a bright Saturday morning in the Okore mansion, the home of Adeze's family. The compound was beautifully decorated. Music filled the air. Guests arrived from different parts of the world. The first daughter of the house was getting married. Ada walked down the aisle in a stunning white gown, tears glistening in her eyes. Demola stood waiting for her, strong, handsome, victorious. When she reached him, he held her hands and whispered, Never again will anything separate us. And she replied through tears, Never again will I let go of you. The crowd cheered as they sealed it with a kiss. Fireworks lit the sky. Drums and music filled the air. Joy overflowed. Love had won.